you do with the number that is out in front of the polynomial? If you're multiplying, Addison. Sorry? Distribute it, exactly. So it gets multiplied in like this to everything. So you multiply the coefficients. What's 8 times 2? 16. Does the d squared change? It does not, because there's no variable with the 8. So you get 16d squared. What about the 7? 7 times 8 is?
56.
56. Do the variables change? No, it's just d and g. And then the final one is 9 times 8, which is 72, g squared. So you just take that letter or that number and distribute it in. What if there is a variable with it? So 6k, again, it goes to everything. But now we just have to watch the exponents. So 6 times 9. Sorry? 54. What do you do with the k's? If you're multiplying, what do you do with the exponents? You add the exponents. So I get k to the power of 3. And then 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. Oh. K to what power? Does the q change? No. And then final one, 6 times 7 is 42q, or q squared, and then the k just tacks onto it. And that is it. You can't do anything else with that. Okay? Do we feel okay with that?
Yep.
All right. Here are the questions I would want you to do, please. 247, 15 and 22, and 255, 12 and 20. Don't do anything that says use algebra tiles. I'm not going to ask you to do it with algebra tiles. So. Okay. 6x minus 3 divided by 3. We'll do it once with algebra tiles, and then we're going to do it the algebraic way after. So remember, when we're dividing, what is in here, the numerator, is what goes in the middle of all the algebra tiles. So we have 6x's, negative 3. So what do I have to do to the 3 little ones? Shade them in. Okay. And we're dividing by 3. Pause. It's in the back of the book that you have. So here is a 3 right here. And this is the 6x minus 3. What we're trying to do is figure out what goes up there. That is our answer. So you ask yourself, what do I need to put here to multiply by this little tiny square to get a rectangle?
X.
A rectangle, or x. Yes. That is correct. And that'll give me the 3. And then I'm going to put another rectangle beside it. And then what am I putting here? A little tiny shaded square, because that times that will give me these shaded squares. So what is my answer? 2x minus 1. All right. So that's the algebra tile way to do it. Most people don't do it that way. This is how most people do it. 6x minus 3. So in grade 9, we will only divide by a monomial. Do you know what a monomial is? It's one term. Okay? So this is a monomial. What you do is you take that monomial and you put it under each term in the numerator. So that is the exact same thing. Okay? Because if you were adding or putting these together, you'd have a common denominator. You slam the tops together and you'd get that. So we're doing the reverse. And then you just simplify each one. So what's 6 divided by 3? 2. Does the x change? No, so I get 2x. What's 3 divided by 3? 1, and there's a negative there. 2x minus 1. It's the exact same thing, okay? So when we are dividing, that single term in the denominator goes to everything in the numerator, and then it basically turns into an exponent question. So if I have this, 30k squared minus 18k over negative 6k, your first step is to take the 30k squared and I divide by negative 6. 18k over negative 6. Okay. That denominator goes to everything in the numerator. And then you just do your divisions. So what's 30 divided by negative 6? Negative 5. What happens to k squared and k? What do I do? Subtract the exponents. So I get k to the power of 1. (18) divided by negative 6. What's 18 divided by negative 6? Negative 3. And k over k?
It's k squared.
What do you do with the exponents? You would subtract them, right? What's 1 minus 1?
0.
So what's anything to the 0 power? 1. So you don't have to write it. Okay? Perfect. The last thing is if you have two negatives, what does that become? So the answer is negative 5k plus 3. All right. We'll just do all these. Okay. What do you do with the denominator? Shh. What do you do with the denominator, people? Break it up and then simplify. What's negative 6 divided by 3? Negative 2. What do you do with the exponents? Subtract, so I get just x or 1. And then the second term, what does 9x over 3x simplify to? What's 9 divided by 3? What's x divided by x? Nothing. So it's just negative 2x plus 3. Can I flip the page? All right. We'll just do this one and this one. All right. 5x squared plus 10xy minus 25x divided by 5x. Even if you have 3 terms up top and a single denominator, it just goes to each term. So 5x squared over 5x, 10xy over 5x, 25x over 5x. That is your first step every single time you're dividing. What happens to the 5's in the first one? Cancel. What's x squared over x? It's just x. 10 divided by 5. What happens to the x's? So you're left with 25 divided by 5. It'll be negative 5 because there's a negative there. And the x's disappear. So it's x plus 2y minus 25. I could put 15 terms in the numerator. It's the exact same thing. Every time, this goes under each one of these. So 4s squared divided by negative 8s minus 8st divided by negative 8s plus 12s divided by negative 8s. 4 over negative 8. Is it a whole number? It's a fraction. So can you read what goes into 4 and what goes into 8? 2, or 4 goes into it too, right? So 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 8 twice. And you can put the negative in the bottom or you can put it in the top. It doesn't really matter. Or you can even write 0.5. I would be fine with that. S squared over S becomes just S. What happens in the second one? What happens to the 8s? What's 8 divided by 8? Well, it's something. It's 1, right? And they're both negative, so it turns into? And what happens to the S's? So I'm left with just T. And the final one, it's a positive 12 divided by negative 8, so I know the answer is going to be negative. 12 over 8, I can't, that's not a nice number, so reduce it. What goes into 12 and 8?
4.
How many times does 4 go into 12?
3.
How many times does 4 go into 8?
Twice.
What happens to the S's?
Cancel.
And that is your answer. Okay? So when you're dividing, this denominator goes to every term, and then you just simplify using your exponent rules, essentially. All right? Your questions are 256, 16, 18A, and 21, please. And thank you.